welcome to Tarot to a T. My intention today is to do a mid-March 2023 reading for the sign of Taurus. If this is the first time to my channel, welcome Taurus. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for your support. And I'm glad to see you here again. So this is a general reading. It may not apply to your situation. If it doesn't, that's fine. Just let it go and come back for the next reading. It may resonate with you more, okay? Also want to mention I'm going to start doing extended readings, but I can't do it for every sign due to my schedule right now. So, if you're interested in seeing an extended reading for April, make sure you hit the like symbol, the thumbs up, and I'm going to tally up each sign and see who has the most response on that. And that will be the sign I do the extended reading for that month. And I'll just kind of keep that in mind going forward. And I might be able to fit in a couple, so just wanted to mention that. And again, this is a general inquiry. The most important message for Taurus for mid-March 2023. Cards of advice coming out now. And then we'll get started. Oh my gosh. I just said one more and half the deck fell on the table. That's pretty funny. One more card. There we go. Let me get a sip of tea before I get started here. My throat feels kind of dry. I'm not sure why. Okay, 5 of spades. Ouch. You had a major change here lately. Could be occurring or about to occur. It's a breakup of some sort. Doesn't necessarily mean a relationship, but it could be, and it could also be some kind of other thing that's going on, perhaps in your career, job situation. You're breaking yourself off from something, and it's a much needed change, obviously. The Ace of Diamonds, you are on a new pursuit here with your financial health here. It's a desire to up your income in some way, increase the flow, increase the abundance. It could have to do with this job situation, maybe that you broke yourself off from. Now you're looking for another opportunity. And if I do recall, for some reason, your readings stick in my mind for the latter half of 2022. You had a new job opportunity that was promising in some ways, but I think in some ways it was very hard on you. It was taking you away from home too often. There was separations involved where you were not with the people you really wanted to spend time with. Maybe you've walked away from that. We'll see. There is some kind of communication that needs to occur here to restore balance. That's interesting, since usually when you break yourself off for something, I guess it doesn't necessarily mean it's done and over with, but there's still some communication probably needs to occur around that. And another 2. Wow, yeah, look at that. So the 2 of Hearts is that desire for companionship, closeness, connection with somebody. Probably just one person. This usually doesn't apply to groups or, a corporation or a company. It's more about a one-on-one. Maybe you had some kind of break in a relationship. Again, it could have been buckled under the stress of this job opportunity that you pursued. I'm picking up you may have temporarily broke off with somebody, and perhaps that's where the communication needs to come in, that you're not ready to walk away. Because you're still desiring that connection. You still feel very deeply and attached to this person. Let's pull more cards. Let's dig in further. Things are up in the air, that's for sure. You don't know where this is headed with the full energy. Yeah. Things are very, you could say they're unstable, but they're just unsettled. I think that's generally what you're experiencing. The full energy does denote that you don't see the end of the path. You don't see where it's what's around the corner. You know, it's a little bit about being blind to the future, but I think that's perfectly acceptable considering what I just kind of, the picture I just painted here. I'm just kind of feeling this out for a second. I think the financial start is still something that you're pursuing on your own. I don't necessarily see this as you like breaking off from a work situation and you want to go back. I see it more as you're still in this mode of wanting to increase your abundance and that income flow. Taurus is very practical around material matters, so it doesn't surprise me that you have a very firm focus on that. Nothing wrong with that in the world, absolutely, especially in these days and times when things are so tumultuous in the economy. But you also have a new start here with your heart. Now, this could be related to the relationship, no doubt. You're truly desiring to follow your instincts, your gut, what truly makes you happy, what fulfills you. It could also be in terms of how to balance out this pursuit of financial happiness with the relationship side of things, the personal relationship, that one connection, you know. Yeah, wow. I don't know if you notice a pattern here, but we got aces and twos, so it's like the beginnings of things forming and building up for you in your life at this moment. And a breakup, yeah, that can be a bit of disruption, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's probably something that was overdue. And look, you got another 2. Okay. This 2 is about separation that occurs sometimes between just friends. Definitely could be a work situation, but it's usually about a one person. So I'm thinking again, it relates to this relationship, this breakup. It's permanent. The communication still needs to happen, and you're still desiring that connection. You're still connected to them. You still feel attached, but I hate to say it, but it looks like it's permanent. It looks like it's not gonna be fixed. This is the exact opposite of that. It's the disconnection and harmony. I don't like to put a stamp on it that nothing is possible, because everything is possible in a world of possibilities, right? In the greater scheme of things. So I don't want to tell you that it's useless to try to repair it. It just looks like that's where it stands right now, that it's a permanent disconnection, whatever form that takes for you. Something is going to be revealed here to you that's you currently are not aware of. This is about hidden information. It's the internal experience of discovering that information. Now you could be in the middle of that at the moment, because we are looking at mid-March. We're already there. Something came to light for you in some way. Perhaps it was around what you truly desired, what's truly important to you. It could be about this, the desire for this connection and closeness. Now, if that relationship is truly over, and you truly recognize it for that, it could be that you're desiring closeness in general, like you're out of this relationship, but that doesn't mean you're closing yourself off to new relationships. What else can you tell me about Taurus and their situation for mid-March? Oh, there's some indecision here around money. You are being pulled in a couple different directions. Again, it could be about this new start in finance. If you did drop some kind of opportunity that you pursued vigorously in 2022 at the end of the year there, maybe now you're kind of in the process of figuring out a new direction. It could be as simple as that. I don't see Taurus having money issues. I mean, it can happen to any of us, that we just find ourselves in a bind and suddenly, money's tight. But it's usually about some kind of indecision or confusion, like just being pulled in two different directions. So I think you have your sights on a couple of different pursuits, perhaps, or ideas. Let's say they're ideas. Let's say that the ideas aren't completely formulated, like they're not solid. It's like you want to do this, you want to do that, but you don't have like the exact picture of how it's all going to come together in either case, so it's still kind of up in the air. I'm kind of picking up something along those lines. But you are stressed about this work situation. Yeah, I feel like you walked away in the recent past, not this month, not February necessarily, but you walked away from a work situation. And work is stressing you out. So if you're still in that work situation from the latter half of last year, there's stress around it from that. This was, I think this card came out for you like the last 6 readings for 2022, Taurus. It was all about you needing to relieve that pressure somehow, whatever form it took. Again, you were being taken away from your home. There was like some instability around your home life. And that probably involved too many hours, kind of stretching you too thin. But if you did walk away from that situation, you're still kind of in that stressful mode. You see my point? It could actually be either case, that you're still in it or you walked away from it. You're still experiencing that pressure because you have this. And this also that card that kept coming out, especially like November, December. I do remember that. Let's go ahead and look at your cards of advice. Jack of Hearts and the Colorized Joker. So the Jack of Hearts is having your heart open. You could be dealing with a younger water sign. Maybe that was the relationship that fell apart. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Actually, I'm picking that up very strongly because this Joker is also about things being unsettled. We already saw the black and white Joker. Now the Colorized Joker is the Magician card. So I also see that as, this is your advice, so this is actually very good. The universe wants to step in and help with that. If it's not a younger water sign, you still have your heart open, which is, again, that's a very positive thing. Even if you have hopes of repairing a relationship that's damaged pretty severely in some way, you still have your heart open to it. And I think the universe wants to step in and kind of, I see it as the magic, the magician. Things transforming in almost in a mysterious way. You could look at it that way. But yeah, there's still that unsettled energy around it, no doubt. And I'm sure you're very much aware of that. Now the King of Hearts, again, is that water energy, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. I also see the King of Hearts as being you taking control of your emotions. A firm stand, control, dominance, not letting them get away from you, not you feeling discouraged or in the depths of despair or feeling hurt and betrayed. This is about taking control of that and keeping it in a healthy perspective. In general, I'll just mention this is also the fatherly and energy. It's like someone who takes care of other people, can guide and support them in a very loving but firm way. So perhaps you've kind of pulled yourself together in some sense. And so you're kind of taking on that role. It's not about male energy. It's just very firm and strong. Leadership, that kind of thing. The Ten of Diamonds. Interesting. This is telling me this is going to lead to your ultimate prosperity and success. So I think, again, that's kind of a side issue along with the relationship issue that came up. I think you got both things going on. But somewhere along this way about you keeping your heart open, and allowing, the unforeseen forces and influences coming in, and yeah, definitely keeping your emotions in a healthy space is going to lead this ultimate prosperity and success. Yes, it could be monetary, it could be financial, but the success could be also the form of just kind of triumphing in this situation. I'm going to say you're winning, you're not beating somebody, it's not about a competition, it's just that feeling of abundance in another sense, not in a physical sense. Catch my drift? And it's going to close out a major chapter for you. The Six of Diamonds, look at that. It is going to open up more opportunities for you to take financial responsibility. So I see this. Okay, so back up here. If you ever heard my speech about, well, it's not just like a speech, but it's kind of my philosophy in life here. I like to share. When you have your energy wrapped up in another situation, such as a romance, it can affect your career outlook, your finances, and vice versa. So if things are not going well in finance and career, they can affect relationships. So I see this as freeing you up somehow, and ultimately leading to these new opportunities that you've clearly wanted. It's an interesting mix, honestly, of forces going on here. But again, with the twos and the harmony and balance that's being emphasized, I mean, I truly think that's what you're seeking, and you're seeking these new starts. You're like, okay, let's kind of start over from the beginning, scratch that. I'm going to say erase, or not erasing the past, but just kind of wanting a reset. And you've taken a very, or you're being advised to, if this isn't already the form you're taking, embodying this, taking a very firm step in that healthy relationship perspective. And that means looking at the whole situation objectively, with kindness, sympathy for the other person, seeing things from their point of view, and also taking responsibility for your own, your part in the play, because we all have a part to play. No one dances alone in relationships. I think sometimes people tend to want to blame the other person and hang it all on them, but we also have a part to play. It doesn't matter what really transpired and what's going on. Again, it takes two to dance. You can't blame the other person. Ultimately, life doesn't work that way. And when you reach that recognition and you acknowledge that, I think things can work a lot easier for you. Taking your responsibility, that is. This is very nice. This is a windfall card. You got some abundance coming your way. Whatever you've been working on, it is coming your way, Taurus. No doubt. This card also kind of cautions you against overspending. I will be honest about that, and I generally don't see Taurus as falling into that trap, but it just could be a reflection again of the economical environment we're in now, and everything increasing in price and inflation being crazy. Just everything costs more, even the simple things, and just being careful with that spending. Yes, things are very, again, stable and solid here in your home life. These fours, just like the four diamonds, this four is also talking about that stability. Your lifestyle is not in jeopardy. It also talks about a period of stress relief. So I think in the past you had some stress going on at home. Could have been emotional. Could have been this breakup. You were cohabitating with somebody, and the breakup, although I didn't see the physical separation, but I'm just assuming that kind of went along with it. So that person being out of your space, or you being out of theirs, has brought on stress relief. Or perhaps that needs to happen. Again, we're looking at your advice. King of Spades, you could be involved with an air sign. Leo, Gemini, or Aquarius. King of Spades is generally, I always stop and pause on it for a second, because they're generally a good person. They're very practical. They're very good in business. But the thing is, there's some kind of disagreement with them. You're not seeing eye to eye with them. You're not on the same page. That could be what you're experiencing now around this stress relief. Let's say you were involved with an air sign, or they had strong air in their chart, and they're very controlling in some way, denoted by the king, not necessarily male. You're in that stress relief because this person that you just can't see eye to eye with, you're no longer in harmony with, led to this breakup. And now you are taking the firm stand with your emotions and not letting them get the best of you. Yeah, I see that as another person standing firm in their opinions, their what do you call it, point of view, and not budging. Yeah. That could be, again, this permanent split. It's like, if neither one of you is going to budge, Taurus can dig in their heels. They're a fixed sign. And whoever this air sign is, looks like you're like bumping heads. You're locking horns. Jack of Spades, Queen of Clubs. Interesting mix. So the Jack of Spades is, again, kind of that air energy, but I'm actually seeing it more in the sense that you're not trusting. You're not trusting, or you're suspicious of somebody. Now the Queen of Clubs is fire sign energy. It's Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. The Queen of Clubs is not as dominating as a king, but still has a bit of power and authority. I'm kind of seeing that the person you're locking horns with, which we just kind of described a second ago, could have this fire and air in their chart. And you're not trusting their support, because the Queen of Clubs is also very supportive. That's generally like the club energy is someone you can go to for guidance and support, and kind of someone you can lean on. And it looks like to me that you're not quite trusting that support anymore. I don't know how else to say it. Sorry if I'm repeating myself, but because this is in the way. This firm stance that somebody's taking is in the way of this. That could be why you're in stress relief, because you finally broke away from that, because you weren't trusting that support anymore. Because I do remember those past readings. I'm sorry I keep referring to those, but that's my point of reference here, where you felt like you had this strong home base, Taurus. Whatever work you were pursuing, you had that strong support around you, and that's kind of what kept you going. But it looks to me, with the Jack of Spades, you're not trusting that. At least, maybe in the past, you got to the point where you didn't trust that anymore. Yeah, and something had to break. Eight of Clubs. Yeah, you're in a state of well, I'd say it's indecision, but you're trying to make a decision. I think it's around this person. I think it's about if you want to really patch things up with them. I think it's as simple as that, yeah. Because you still have your heart open to them, but you have all this stuff here that I just kind of went through, and they're standing firm where on their opinion or point of view. And you're like, do you really want to go back into that? There's also stubbornness and being fixed on an idea wrapped up with the Eight of Clubs, but it's that crossroads decision. So you're kind of stuck. You're left facing that cross in the road, that T, and you're not going anywhere. You're just kind of facing it and you see your options, but you're going to stand still at least for a time being. So, I am going to stop it there. I'll stop the reading, but just to recap here, just briefly, I do see you kind of stuck on whether you want this person back in your life. I think it's as simple as that. The communication needs to happen. Either way, I think that you feel like it's pretty much over, but there's something about it that keeps kind of pulling you back. You can't quite let go, and that's fine. I'm not advising you either way. You know, it's hard to detach from people, even the ones that ultimately we know that we're not compatible with them. If the relationship isn't too volatile and there's not terrible backstabbing going on, we still have that connection with them that kind of pulls our heart in that direction. I think that's kind of where you're at with this. But on the positive, I see very good things happening with you in success and prosperity. I mean, this is fantastic, and those opportunities are going to still come your way, so don't worry about that. Even though back here you were kind of a little bit in indecision mode about what to do, I see that working out for you very well. At least that's the trajectory that your path is going at the moment. And let's not forget this. You're going to have this windfall that kind of helps out whatever this emotional situation, I might say, this emotional situation you're finding yourself in. Even though I think you're being encouraged here to, again, take very good care of your emotional health and keep a good perspective around it. I think that's just where you need to be at the moment while you decide if you're going to invest in this relationship any further. I think it was significant enough and it went on long enough that that's what's pulling you, keeps pulling you back. You're not ready to cut it off. Okay, wow. It's pretty heavy for you, Taurus. Pretty heavy. So I'm wishing you much luck in deciding and going through this. Sending good vibes your way. Hope you got some insight from the reading. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you liked the reading, go ahead and hit a thumbs up. Especially if you're interested in seeing extended reading for your sign next month. Don't forget to hit subscribe notifications if you'd like to see when the next reading comes out. And just a small reminder, I do have that virtual tip jar at the bottom of my description box. I don't monetize YouTube, so some people have gone ahead and donated just a small amount to help support the channel and to show appreciation for the readings. Okay, I appreciate you being here. Glad to see you again. I hope to see you again soon, and take care until I do.